Her hands trembled as the expensive fabric tore. The wealthy matriarch ripped the maid's uniform straight from her shoulders, exposing not just cloth, but dignity itself. The room froze. Every servant lowered their gaze. No one dared to breathe. And yet the quiet maid, silent, scarred, and unshaken, stood taller than anyone else in that mansion. What happened next left the entire house speechless. The uniform shredded in the millionaire's mother's hands, a cruel sound of tearing cloth that echoed through the marble hall. The quiet maid did not flinch. Her silence was louder than any protest. Eyes shifted across the room, servants frozen in fear, guards unwilling to move. No one dared to speak against the powerful woman who had ruled this household like an empress. The maid's name was Elena. Her face was calm, her eyes steady, though they held the weight of battles unseen. For she was not just a maid. Once she had been a soldier. The scent of iron and gunpowder had filled her lungs for years. She had seen fire rise against the dark horizon, heard the last breaths of comrades fading in her arms, felt the bitter cold of nights spent on unforgiving soil. She carried scars beneath the fabric that had just been torn from her. Scars no riches could erase, and no cruelty could ever belittle. Yet, here she stood, humiliated for nothing more than her quiet existence. Elena had returned from service with no fortune, no fanfare. She had chosen work in silence, tending to others, hiding her past. The mansion became her battlefield of endurance. Polished floors instead of muddy trenches, silver trays instead of rifles. But dignity was her armor, and silence was her shield. The millionaire's mother despised her calmness. To the woman, Elena's silence looked like defiance, her steady gaze like arrogance. And so, in her rage, she tore at the maid's uniform, hoping to expose weakness, to remind her of her place. The room thickened with tension. Servants looked away. Some clenched their fists, but none dared intervene. Respect had no place when wealth silenced mouths. Yet Elena's quiet stillness unsettled them all. She whispered no protest, shed no tear. Instead, she radiated a strange, unsettling strength. From the balcony above, footsteps approached. The millionaire himself had arrived. His eyes fell upon the scene, his mother holding torn fabric, the maid standing tall amidst disgrace. For a moment, his mother smiled, certain her son would defend her. But then his expression changed. His gaze lingered on Elena, on the faint scar visible across her collarbone, on the calm resilience she held like a soldier still standing after battle. He knew what those scars meant. He had heard stories of her service, though she never spoke of them herself. "Some uniforms," he said softly, "are not made of cloth." The hall fell silent. His words cut deeper than any shout. He walked toward Elena, bent down, and picked up the torn fabric from the floor. Then, in front of everyone, he folded it gently and placed it back in her hands, as if returning honor itself. His mother's face burned with disbelief. The servants lifted their eyes, their silence shifting from fear to reverence. For the first time, they saw justice rise in this house. Elena bowed her head slightly, but her eyes glistened. She had not needed to defend herself. Her silence had spoken louder than cruelty, and now respect answered it. The millionaire turned to his mother. His voice remained calm, but firm, carrying a weight that echoed through every corner of the mansion. Never mistake quiet dignity for weakness. Some battles are fought without words, and those who endure them carry on and no one can strip away. The servants stood straighter. The air shifted, heavy with unspoken respect. Elena remained silent, but in her stillness, she had won a battle larger than herself. In that moment, the wealthy house bent not to riches, but to silent strength. And as the story of that day spread beyond the mansion's gates, people whispered one line again and again. True honor needs no voice. Respect is not measured by wealth, nor erased by cruelty. Sometimes the quietest among us carry the heaviest burdens and the deepest strength. What do you think true honor looks like in our world today? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from. And if you believe in stories that celebrate silent heroes, subscribe for more.